How are you?
Sit down.
Thank you so much.
Is that a photo?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Matt Lucas is a comedian, actor, writer and performer in a career spanning 30 years.
Enjoy the match. See you later.
From character comedy...
I'd love to go on a date, but I can't as I'm the only gay in the village.
...to West End musicals, to fundraising.
Baked potato changed my life. Baked potato showed me the way.
And off-duty, he's a football fan.
The Man United players on there. I hope they get a flat tyre.
I want to say I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal sufferer. I mean, I feel the pain when they lose. I feel the joy when they win.
For Matt, football has always been a family affair.
My father was an Arsenal fan and passed that down to my older brother Howard and to me. I was 22 when my father died. Apart from the profound sense of loss, I also realised that there aren't always happy endings. I think football for me is a great barometer. You can judge how you're feeling about life by how you feel when you go to football, how you feel when you win, how you feel when you lose.
Matt comes from a tight-knit Jewish family in London.
I was brought up in a Reform Jewish household. I would go to synagogue most Saturday mornings. I would go to Hebrew classes on a Sunday morning. And there was always something a little bit naughty about going to synagogue and then quietly going to watch Arsenal afterwards, because you weren't really supposed to do that. My mum is a typical Jewish mother. She is full of love. If I go round to dinner at my mum's house, she puts the food down and she goes, right, there's more carrots, there's more peas, there's more potatoes, there's more chicken, and then at the end she goes, now what are we going to do about that tummy, eh?
Aren't you hungry, darling?
Yes.
Yes?
There's one person who occupies a special place in Matt's family history, his maternal grandmother, who passed away in 1999.
Grandma Margot was a refugee from Berlin. Her name was not Margot, it was Margot. She was very German. I was never Matthew, I was always Monsieur. She was a formidable woman. When I was very young, I was a little scared of her. She was very strict. But as I got older and she got older, she mellowed. And we became really close. We would chat for hours and hours on the phone. I would love to reconnect with her. And one way I can do that is maybe by finding out some things about her that she never told me. It helps keep her alive for me, because I really miss her.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, lovely to see you. Oh, lovely to have you.
Matt is visiting his mum, Diana, just a few miles from where he grew up.
May I start by saying how lovely it is to meet you?
It's a great pleasure to meet you too.
And thank you for giving birth to me all those years ago. Now, I have this photograph on my windowsill at home. It's your father, Grandpa Morris's 70th birthday. I know that that's Grandma Margot. Grandpa Morris. You.
Oh, God.
That's me.
Oh, sweet.
Not many pictures of me with hair, but there's one.
Yes.
That's my brother Howard. And then what's also quite nice about this is that there's members of the other side of the family there as well. That's my father with his wig on.
So this is your great-grandfather, Gustav.
Dr.
That's
Gustav
right.
Hillel.
But what's so poignant, really, is the fact that Grandma was 20 when her father died, and you were 22 when your father died very suddenly. So I think the two of you shared a lot of empathy and discussions, didn't you?
Yeah.
About how that felt. We've got another photograph here, taken in 1913.
Right.
And it is the photo of Max Salinger and Greta Paradis's their engagement party in Berlin. And they were Uncle Wolf's parents. And then we've got Sophie Blumenfeld, Herta Goldschmidt. They were sisters of Grandma Margot's mother, Rose. As far as I know, the aunts fled to Amsterdam.
Margot's mother, Matt's great-grandmother Rose, had two sisters, Sophie and Herta. Rose's cousin Greta married Max. They went on to have 3 sons. One of them ended up in England and was known to Matt as Uncle Wolf. When this photograph was taken, all of Margot's extended family lived in Berlin.
What do you know about Grandma Margot's early life in Berlin?
I do know she was quite involved in the synagogue. It was the Fasanenstrasse synagogue, and that was in Charlottenburg.
Right.
Grandma hardly ever spoke about her childhood. She just didn't speak about it.
It was a decision she made not to talk about it.
So now I've got a lovely picture here. Who do you think that is?
So is that Grandma as a child?
Yes.
How wonderful.
Do you
That was
like
taken in 1916.
So she was 5.
Really sweet.
So, do you know what that is?
The University of Berlin. Praktikum für Medizin. She wanted to be a doctor like her father.
Yeah.
But I know that her education was stopped abruptly. So she made it some of the way by the look of this.
And I've got various letters. I tried to translate them myself, but it's impossible. And they're sent by your great-grandmother, Rose, to Grandma Margot, dated June 1939. Your great-grandmother was still in Berlin, but Grandma Margot had come to England.
My understanding is Grandma Margot's mother was not well enough to travel.
Yeah.
Did she have multiple sclerosis?
Yes, yes.
And Grandma left and never saw her mother again.
I mean, how must it have felt for her mother?
Rice pass, is that a passport?
Correct.
I mean, it's really alarming to see a swastika on the passport.
Exactly.
I mean, I was not expecting to see that. The red J
Yeah.
will denote that she was,
Judah.
yeah, Jewish.
Yeah. You have just applied for and got your German citizenship.
I now have dual nationality. So I'm from the United Kingdom and I'm also German. So I feel, now that I have this passport, that the first journey I make is to go to Germany and find out more about Grandma Margot.
Matt has come to Berlin. He wants to know more about his grandmother Margot's life here, why she had to leave, and what happened to the relatives she left behind.
Well, I'm here now in Berlin on this bitingly cold morning. I'm a little bit anxious about what I might find out. Berlin feels very progressive now, but everywhere there are echoes and shadows of a darker time.
Matt's maternal grandmother, Margot Hillel, was born in Berlin in 1911. Her father, Gustav Hillel, was a doctor. Her mother was known in the family as Rose, but her real name was Therese. Matt is visiting the address where Margot was born
Number 25.
and spent the first years of her life. The resident of the apartment where Matt's grandmother lived as a little girl is letting him have a look inside.
Hello.
Hello.
How do you do? I'm Matt.
Hi, nice to meet you.
My grandmother lived here over 100 years ago. I wonder if I could possibly come in.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Feel free to have a look.
Thank you very much. Ah. I wonder if this was as busy then, out here. Ah. I mean, I don't really know which room would have been my grandma's and which would have been her parents', but the thing I do know, and it's funny because I'm looking at this photo of such a sweet, innocent girl. The thing I do know, as sure as I can be, that Grandma would think I was being ridiculous right now. She was unsentimental. She'd be telling me off. Ah, nonsense. She wanted to be a doctor. Grandma did study here at the University of Berlin. It might be good to go and have a look at that, see what we can find out.
Margot was 18 when she began studying medicine at Berlin University in 1930. Only a year later, her father, Gustav, suddenly died of a heart attack. But Margot continued her studies. Matt is crossing Berlin to visit the university she attended. He knows something stopped his grandmother becoming a doctor, but he needs to find out exactly what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule. Wow. And this is where your grandmother Margot studied and took her courses. Why don't you have a look at the first document?
Difficult to read, but here I can see Hillel Margot. So what is this?
It's from the official immatriculation record. So you can see that your grandmother began her studies in April 1930.
In 1934, there's a word, say, mich...
I can help you. It's nicht Beleg, which just means she didn't show up.
Right.
Yeah. And we should find out why she didn't show up. I mean, we all know that Hitler came to power in January 33, and almost everything changed in Germany in that year. So maybe we should have a look at the laws that the Nazis created right after they took over the power.
And what does this say? Let's have a look at the translation. Law against overcrowding in German schools and institutions of higher education. Care must be taken to ensure that the number of pupils and students of non-Aryan descent does not exceed the proportion of non-Aryans in the population of the German Reich.
When Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, he began passing racist laws, imposing severe restrictions on Jewish people and other minority groups who the Nazis believed were racially inferior. And in May that year, Nazi students staged a burning of books by Jewish and other writers in the square outside Margot's university.
I am pretty sure that your grandmother Margot, she will have noticed everything. When she sat here, I think she would have had the feeling that she's not wanted anymore.
And she was born in this country.
It's really hard for us to grasp how she would have felt. I mean, did she tell you later about those times?
I did ask her, but it was something, I think, that was the source of great pain. She kept it to herself.
Yeah. I mean, without Hitler and the Nazis, she would have probably stayed in Berlin and would have become a medical doctor.
I left university early.
You?
Yeah, after 2 years of a 3-year course, because my comedy career started to take off. So I didn't complete my degree, and my grandmother was mortified. At the time, maybe I took it almost as a lack of faith in me and my abilities, a misunderstanding of the opportunities that were presenting themselves to me. But now, maybe I can understand more why she would have been so opposed to that.
Yeah.
Soon after Margot was forced out of university, the situation for Jewish people in Germany got worse. In 1935, at the Nuremberg Rally, Hitler passed a law that ruled that Jews were no longer considered full German citizens. Matt is heading to a theatre in Charlottenburg, a vibrant cultural quarter of Berlin, where his grandmother and great-grandmother were living in the 1930s. It was around the corner from the family synagogue, a central part of Jewish community life.
So, Natalie, my family lived in this area. My grandmother and her parents regularly attended, now I'm going to see if I can pronounce it right, Fasanenstraße, their synagogue.
Fasanenstraße, yeah, that was a reform synagogue,
Yeah.
just around the corner, just 5 minutes walking from here. We actually have some pictures. You can see the architecture. This is very grand, right?
Yeah, it is grand. Does Fasanenstraße still exist?
Maybe we take a look at the next document that we have here.
10th of November, 1938. I instruct Wächter in Berlin to smash up the synagogue at Fasanenstraße. He keeps saying honorable task.
Yes, that's Joseph Goebbels.
Wow.
He was the Reichsminister for propaganda. So his job was to spread the Nazi ideology. And this text that we have by Goebbels, this was actually his diary.
This says November 1938.
Yeah, it's actually the 10th of November, 1938.
That's Kristallnacht.
From the 9th to the 10th of November 1938, Jewish businesses and synagogues were attacked in a night of violence orchestrated by the Nazi regime. It became known as Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, because of the shattered windows that covered the streets the next morning.
In German, we don't use the word Kristallnacht anymore.
Really?
Because it's a euphemism, right? Night of the broken glass. It sounds really nice, but it was terrible. About 1,400 synagogues were burned down, shops were destroyed, more than 100 Jews were killed, and about 30,000 Jewish men were sent to concentration camps.
Wow. You don't call it Kristallnacht anymore. What do you call it?
November pogroms. So we have another photograph of the synagogue from after the pogrom.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a Roman ruin, doesn't it? I only need to look at this photo to understand that now, in a way I've never understood it before.
Yeah.
There is no hope here. I actually look at this photo and I cannot fathom why anybody wouldn't then leave.
Yeah.
This is such a sobering image. I'm starting to wonder whether my grandmother was in her home with her mother. If she was here, I'd ask her what she went through on that night. That made me feel really sad, that conversation. The picture of that synagogue. That's not a threat of things to come. It's here. November 1938 was when what we call Kristallnacht. They call the November pogroms now. And my grandmother's passport, so it's 3 months later. You realize then, you just have to go. You can't stay. When my grandmother left, she never saw her mother ever again. I know that my grandmother had a regular correspondence with her mother,
after my grandmother left for the UK. And I'd like to look at those letters and try and find out a little bit more about my great-grandmother's life during that period.
Margot had escaped to England in 1939. Her mother, Therese, had multiple sclerosis and had to stay behind in Berlin. Margot was an only child, and Therese was a widow. Matt wants to know how they coped with the separation. Historian Dr. Miriam Bistrovich
Hi, Matt.
Hello there, good to meet you.
has the letters Margot received from Germany, which have been translated for the first time.
So I have this letter here from my great-grandmother Therese to Grandma Margot, written 14th of April 1939, and that's from Mutti, meaning mother, a pet name for mother. Because I used to call Grandma Großmutti sometimes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm known as Schmoo in my family. Mein geliebtes Lumpchen.
The Lumpchen would be something like a rascal.
My dear little rascal, you really are a diligent letter writer, and I'm really enjoying your frequent and detailed reports. Of course, I'm most contented with the fact that it shows me that all is well for you and that you are with kind people. Papa would have said, the little rascal is popular again. Yesterday it was Fritz H's birthday. He is very nice to me like everyone else, so please don't offend him if you do write to him, and don't mention any age. That's funny because my grandma, whenever I asked her how old she was, she always said 21. Oh. So even when she was 85, I gave her a happy 21st birthday card. For you, my darling, my heartfelt love and kisses, Mutti. I mean, it's very warm, isn't it? And very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like a lot of mothers, she says a lot without saying very much.
Yes. You can definitely read between the lines.
Yeah. It's really nice just to hear that life was continuing.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to hear that my great-grandmother wasn't alone.
No.
Even after her daughter left and her husband had died.
May I draw your attention to the next letter? And it's not from Theresa, it's from Greta.
So I've seen a photograph of Greta before at her engagement party in 1913.
Greta was a cousin of Theresa.
14th of May, 1939. Dear Margot, unfortunately, your mother had another fall and was badly bruised. You know that your mother won't accept much personal help and that she's keen to keep her independence. You don't need to worry, and now she's almost on the mend. Greta seems to be giving Grandma updates, and Therese's health seems to be deteriorating. I think it might have worried Grandma to receive this letter. I mean, she would have known about her ill health because it was a long-term thing, but it's clearly failing. And, you know, your mother had another fall. That's not really what you want to read, is it?
For Therese and her cousin Greta, still living in Germany, life was getting worse. In 1941, Jewish people were ordered to wear a yellow star and were now forbidden to leave the country. Then in January 1942, senior Nazis held a secret meeting in a villa on the edge of Berlin to prepare for what they called the final solution, the mass murder of Jews and other minority groups. At the same time, Therese's health was deteriorating.
Sadly, I would ask you to take a look at the next document.
Theresa Hillel, born Kaufmann, died in her residence on the 2nd of February 1942 at 6 in Berlin. Cause of death, nerve damage, multiple sclerosis, heart failure. Had Therese not passed away when she did, she would probably have died quite soon after at the hands of the Nazis, directly, by the sounds of it.
Would you care to look at the next document?
Jewish Community of Berlin Cemetery Commission. burial declaration on the 16th of February at 10 a.m. next to Gustav Hillel, Theresa Hillel née Kaufmann. And this was ordered by Margareta Salinger. But I wonder if Margareta was Greta.
Yes. It's obvious that she took care of Theresa until the end. It was at her side, so Theresa didn't die alone.
And where is that cemetery now?
It's near here, so you can go there. You can even look at the exact place where your great-grandmother and your great-grandfathers are buried.
One, two, three. So this is it. So the stone has fallen from here onto the grave. And obviously this tree has been growing through for a long time. But who was here to see it, you know? Grandma was an only child, she left, she never came back. So this is it. Presumably we as a family have the option to have a new stone put there, which I would like to do. I am going to put some stones on the grave, which is what Jewish people do when they visit graves. I actually don't mind this tree here. This is life coming through after death. So I'm okay with that. But we will get a new stone.
When Matt's great-grandmother, Therese, died, it was her cousin Greta who organised the funeral. Greta and her husband, Max Salinger, had 3 sons. 2 of them ended up in Israel, and one, Wolf, escaped to England. But Matt's family have always believed that Margot had more relations, who may have fled to Amsterdam. Matt wants to know for certain what became of these family members. He's come to the Netherlands to get to the bottom of this mystery. Harman Snell is senior archivist for the city of Amsterdam.
I've been learning about my grandma Margot and her mother, my great-grandmother Therese. I'm also interested to find out what happened to Therese's 2 sisters. One here is Sophie, and here is Herta, and their cousin Greta.
Well, first, here we have a simple family tree.
Therese, Herta, and Sophie, and obviously Therese's daughter is my grandma Margot. I didn't know that Sophie and Herta had children, so I'm looking at 4 of my grandmother's first cousins.
Yep.
Walter, Fritz, Werner, and Hans. I've never heard any of these names before. She never spoke of them. And she would have known them, obviously, because they were of a similar age. But you have some documents here.
This is the registration of foreigners who moved to the Netherlands. And this is the card of Frits Blumenfeld, one of the cousins.
30th of October, is that 1933?
Yeah. So maybe you should look at the other cards, because these are all the relatives who came to the Netherlands.
Werner Goldschmidt, who came here in 1937. He's only 31, I think. Walter came here in 1937, the same time as Werner. And then we have Sophie.
Yes.
All right, who is Theresa's sister. She came here in 1939.
Mm-hmm.
She was in her early 60s, I think. Then Herta came here also in 39. She was in her late 50s. Do we have any record of what happened to Greta after Theresa's death? Did she come here as well?
I didn't find her in our records.
Do we have anything for Hans?
No, that's also a question mark.
Although in Amsterdam there are no records for Greta, Matt's great-grandmother's cousin, or her nephew Hans, 5 of her relatives did go there in the 1930s. Her sisters, Sophie and Herta, and 3 of their children, Werner, Fritz, and Walter. 300,000 German Jews came to the Netherlands between 1933 and 1939. They believed it would be a safe haven because it had been neutral in the First World War. But on the 10th of May 1940, German forces invaded the Netherlands and a Nazi occupation of the country began. By 1942, just like in Germany, Jewish people in Amsterdam had their ID cards marked and were ordered to wear the yellow star. 2 years into the occupation, all 5 of Margot's relatives were still living here.
On these cards, there is a lot of information. For instance, what kind of work they did, where they lived, and if you look at the card of Werner, there is written Merwedeplein, number 37, second floor.
And then it says, O. Frank.
Yeah.
That's not Otto Frank, is it?
It is.
What, Anne Frank's father?
Exactly. Werner lived, when he arrived, his first address, at Merwedeplein 37, in the house, in the apartment of Otto Frank, where he lived with his wife and 2 daughters.
So my ancestor would have known Anne Frank?
Absolutely.
The writer of one of the most important books ever written.
Yeah.
It's the one story everyone knows. If you know no other story...
That's true.
...about what happened to the Jews in World War II, you know the story of the Frank family.
Anne Frank was a Jewish girl who wrote a diary about her life in Amsterdam in the 1940s. As the Nazis tightened their grip on Jewish people living in the city, the Frank family went into hiding, living in secret rooms concealed behind a bookcase. Years later, Anne's diary was published and became an international bestseller. Before the Franks went into hiding, Matt's grandmother's cousin, Werner Goldschmidt, was living with them in their family home.
That's Merwedeplein number 37, and that still exists.
I should go there.
You should.
Do you have to hail a tram, or do they just stop? I'm going to hail it anyway, because if I don't hail it and it goes past, I'll feel very silly. There you go. He rolled his eyes. I probably didn't need to hail that. These are fun, aren't they? No, can't get on that way. Oh. No. Right. We'll be getting... Oh, it's up here.
Matt is meeting Anne Frank expert, Gertjan Broek.
Hello.
Who has something unique to show him. The only footage in existence of Anne Frank, filmed at her home where Matt's grandmother's cousin Werner was a lodger.
Thank you. Wow.
In the neighboring flat, there's a family living. They had a wedding party that day. The daughter was getting married, so they were leaving the house, and a film was made.
Is that Anne at the window?
Anne Frank leaning out of the window watching the wedding party of the neighbors.
So it's this
These two windows here that they're leaning out
It's
of. On the...
left of the stairwell, so that's the bay window there on that side, on the left side. That's where she's leaning out of. And the bay window on the right, that's where the family lived that had the wedding. Want to go and have a look inside?
Yes, please, yes.
It's a bit steep.
It is steep, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's changed very much.
No, it hasn't. Werner's room was right upstairs, so you might want to go and have a look.
Sure. It actually feels sort of quite nice here. 80 years ago, this is probably nicer than how a lot of people would have lived. As long as you don't mind those stairs, they're quite treacherous.
And over here, the window from the video clip.
Gertrude, what can you tell me about Werner's time here?
For starters, there's his picture.
Gosh, Werner. So that's my grandma's first cousin. Do you know how he became acquainted with the Frank family?
There is a few things about him mentioned in this document right here.
So I'm looking at some handwritten letters here from July 1942.
Actually, it's a part of Anne Frank's diary.
Wow, he's actually mentioned in the diary.
Yes.
Wednesday, July the 8th, 1942, we had rented our big upstairs room to a Mr. Goldschmidt, a divorced man in his 30s, who apparently had nothing to do that evening, since despite all our polite hints, he hung around until 10 o'clock. Oh dear. He wasn't being a good house guest, was he? Mortje, is it Mucha?
Mortje.
Mortje, my cat, was the only living creature I said goodbye to. According to a note we left for Mr. Goldschmidt, she was to be taken to the neighbours who would give her a good home. The stripped beds, the breakfast things on the table, the pound of meat for the cat in the kitchen, all of these created the impression that we'd left in a hurry. But we weren't interested in impressions. We just wanted to get out of there, to get away and reach our destination in safety. Nothing else mattered. So he was living here at the time that the Franks left.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I would have read this diary when I was younger and never realised that she was talking about a relative of mine. I'd like to see if I can find Werner's name in Anne Frank's handwriting. There we go. There it is. Goldschmidt. Yeah. He doesn't necessarily know that they're about to go into hiding. So he's sort of lurking around, slightly unwelcome, the night before they're going. They're feeling very anxious and pensive, and also probably thinking, have we got everything that we need? They've probably been planning this for months. He wasn't to know that this momentous event was taking place. And all this is happening right here.
Right in this apartment.
Yeah.
After the Franks went into hiding, Werner held on at the flat for a while. He had family in the area. His cousin Walter lived on the same street. His other cousin Fritz lived nearby too.
Okay, this is Fritz's card, so he's a first cousin of Werner and of my grandmother. This is Leonardo
Straat.
Leonardo Straat.
In 1933, he was the first one of the family to arrive in the Netherlands.
So he's been here the longest.
That is still standing too. You could go and have a look.
Oh, I think we should.
Fritz Blumenfeld, another of Matt's grandmother's cousins, moved to Amsterdam in 1933 to start a new life. Matt is visiting the flat where Fritz lived to find out how he dealt with the increasing danger for Jewish people in Amsterdam.
So here we are at family home. I'd love to tell you a bit more about Fritz.
Yeah, please do.
I think the first document is already known to you, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Fritz Blumenfeld. He's a wholesaler in silk fabrics.
Yeah.
Coming from Berlin.
Yeah.
He's met Helena Nabarro. They've got married. They're in this nice house, affluent area. And I can see that he has been made a partner in Nabarro and Company, so presumably his father-in-law. And this income, 3,700 Dutch guilder, that's quite a lot, is it?
He's doing really, really well.
And then they have this daughter, Sylvia,
Yeah.
in May 1940, which is that shortly after the occupation?
Just after the occupation started,
Yeah.
indeed, yeah. Maybe let's have a look at our next document.
Verspreiding van de Joden over de gemeente. Is that right?
It means the spread of the Jews over the Amsterdam municipality in May 1941.
And is this is an official government document?
Yeah.
The spread. I mean, it's a sort of document of paranoia, isn't it? I mean, it's sinister.
Every dot stands for 10 Jews.
Where are we right now?
We are over here.
Okay.
Here.
So they're still spread out, probably because they're affluent.
Yeah.
So they're not quite living on top of one another, but there's still
this
seem to be a lot of Jewish people here
Absolutely.
and within the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Well, it's chilling, really. You know, the idea that you need to keep track of the Jews, where they're going, and, oh, look, this area is more populated than that area.
Yeah, they want to pinpoint them to, because they are afraid that, and this is a central element in the Nazi ideology, that Jews, you don't see them, but from within they will destroy a society, and therefore you have to make them visible. Let's look at our final document.
Fritz Blumenfeld, and it's got the address here.
This is a card from the Jewish Council over here, and they had a card for every Jew in the Netherlands. So if you want to know what happened to someone during the war, you have to go to these cards.
Yeah, well, I can see something written which looks like 15/7/42. Something happened in July 1942.
There are two letters before, which is TR, which is an abbreviation of transport.
Right, okay. So they were transported.
Well, if you want to know more about this, you have to go to Westerborg, which is a small village in the east of the Netherlands, because it was the central location Jews were sent.
Right. Okay. I'm not really looking forward to going there, because it doesn't feel like there's going to be good news waiting for me, but I do want to find out what happened to these family members, because we don't know. So that's part of this process, I guess.
I think so.
Matt is travelling to Westerborg, about 2 hours northeast of Amsterdam. Fritz's records suggest he went there in July 1942. Matt is meeting researcher Jose Martin to find out what happened to his grandmother's family at Westerborg.
Hello, Jose.
Hi, Matt.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Westerborg?
This was a camp, a transit camp, which meant that people were deported from here by train to concentration camps and other camps. Auschwitz, Sobibor, Theresienstadt, Bergen-Belsen. From this camp, about 107,000 people were deported.
Do you think the people knew where they were being sent and why?
No, they didn't know. In the beginning, the people were going by normal trains. So they were going on a trip and people waving goodbye. We're leaving and we're coming back. The Nazis tried to create an illusion. So there were letters coming back where people wrote, everything's okay, I'm fine, and I have to work hard, but I'll see you later.
What, the Nazis were forcing the Jews to write these
Yeah.
letters with false
Yeah.
propaganda, basically?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell me about what happened to my family?
Yes. We have a lot of documentation about them, so we could take a look at that.
Okay, let's do that. I want to ask you if you know what happened to my grandmother's first cousin Fritz, his wife Helen, and their daughter Sylvia.
I promised you some documents. They're here.
Right.
Just turn them around. Fritz was deported from Westerborg. This is the date, 15th of July 42, which is the first transport that left Westerborg to Auschwitz.
Right. And Auschwitz at the beginning was the same as Auschwitz throughout. It was conceived to put people to death.
Some of them. They got off the train, and then was the selection process where people were sorted out to be killed or not. Maybe look at the following document.
After inspecting Birkenau, Himmler witnessed the complete extermination process of a transport of Jews which had just arrived.
Himmler, one of the architects of the final solution, on the 17th of July 1942, the day on which the transport from Westerborg arrives in Auschwitz, the transport with Fritz, his wife and child. They got off the train, and then was the selection process.
And what were the deciding factors?
Looking to the age of Sylvia, she was just, let's say, 2 years old. What kind of work could she do? Nothing. Can a mother be separated from a child? No. We know that Fritz was selected to work, and his wife and child were sent to the gas chambers.
Oh, that's terrible.
If you take a look at the next document, this is what happened to Fritz.
So this is 1942, the 14th of September. This will be a death certificate. Sepsis.
Blood poisoning.
Can we should believe that or not?
Probably not, because I've seen this cause of death so many times. All dying of this one disease, probably not.
It's just a lottery, where you're born, what your religion is.
Yeah. Luck.
That lottery determines your fate. It's not a lottery you even choose to play.
No.
And he was just the wrong religion for a certain group of bad people. And that's it.
And they weren't the only family members, because there were more family members.
That came here?
They were here, yeah.
Right.
This is a deportation list.
I can see Walter and Fritz's mother, Sophie, who is Theresa's sister, my grandmother's aunt, Sophie Blumenfeld, and she was sent on the 30th of March, 1943.
To Sobibor.
Oh, to Sobibor. Yeah. And where was Walter sent?
Also Sobibor.
Oh, really?
And they had no chance. That was an extermination camp. People arrived and were sent to the gas chambers. So we know date of departure. 3 days later, they were killed.
I can see Herta, my grandmother's other aunt, and she left the camp in February 1943.
Which meant Auschwitz.
Right. Looking on here, I can't see Werner.
He died in Bergen-Belsen, shortly before that camp was liberated. That's where Anne Frank died.
So he was there at the same time as them. He might have, I suppose, been reunited with them.
Could have been.
Matt's grandmother, Margot, had 8 family members in Amsterdam. Her aunts, Sophie and Herta. Her cousins, Werner, Walter, his wife Ilse, Fritz, his wife Helene, and their baby Sylvia. All of them were murdered in the Holocaust. The two relatives left behind in Berlin, Greta and Max Salinger, were also killed at Auschwitz.
I'd been told in the vaguest terms that my family had died in the camps. I'd never been told their names. I never knew the details.
Remembering a name is one of the most important things we do here.
And I think what you do is amazing, because it cannot be easy to be working here and to be enveloped by these very sad stories. And there is always a risk, you know, as a Jew, that you feel, because this is such recent history, that it could happen again. And so it's so important that people like you and places like this are here to tell these stories.
And we'll keep on telling them. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Back in Amsterdam, using the research from Westerborg, a national monument has been built to commemorate all the people from the Netherlands who were murdered in the Holocaust.
So now there is somewhere that says their names. My grandmother never talked about her cousins, but I think she knew what happened to them.
Matt's grandmother, Margot, had arrived in England in 1939, where she found work as a nurse. Soon afterwards, she met and married Matt's grandfather, Morris. Matt has come to their local synagogue in North London. In 1950, Margot began a job at the Association of Jewish Refugees. Susie Kaufman also worked there, and knew Margot in the later years.
So what was Grandma doing when she joined the Association of Jewish Refugees?
She had a very, very important job. She was actually admissions officer. Her remit was to help refugees find homes. A lot of them came on their own, and they were very, very traumatized.
And she knew, having been a refugee herself,
absolutely,
of the challenges
yes,
that
involved.
you face.
And they had no money. They had nothing, so they needed help. And she spoke German, and that was very important. So she could help them, filling in forms, all sorts of things. She did everything.
My grandma's English was very good.
Yes, it was.
Very good.
Grammatically very good.
Absolutely. She was always correcting me.
I like it.
If I was at her house and the phone rang and it was a German friend, she would always speak to them in German.
Absolutely.
And I would be doing impressions of her in the background.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes. Entschuldigung.
Absolutely, I can imagine that. Yes.
Now, Susie, I've got a book here. Shall I have a look?
I think you should.
This is the AJR information. At the time of her retirement, Theo Marks wrote, "Your work at AJR brought you into contact with virtually every resident. You carved out a niche in the refugee community which is without parallel." Now, I'm proud of her. As a survivor, she's clearly paying it forward. You know, she realises she's been lucky, and she understands that with that luck comes a responsibility to help others.
If you have a look on the table there.
Susie has one last document to show Matt.
Turn it over.
Hans Goldschmidt. Where is Montevideo?
Uruguay.
Uruguay. So he survived and went to Uruguay?
He did, indeed.
That's Grandma's first cousin, and
Yes.
he survived. There's a photo of him?
Yes.
So that's why there's no record of him in the camps, because he survived?
Exactly.
And Grandma never spoke of him? My gosh. Obviously, I know my grandmother survived, and I knew that Max and Greta Salinger, they had 3 sons who, because they were older, they all managed to get out of Germany. 2 of them went to Israel, 1 came here.
Yes.
Wolf, who was like my grandma's brother, but I thought they were the only survivors. And somewhere in Uruguay, Montevideo, was one of my grandma's first cousins. That's, I have many more questions now. I'm going to have to show my family, and we'll have to see in our own time whether we can track down any cousins in Uruguay. And they have good football there, so I can take in a football match as well.
I wish you luck with that.
Thank you very much. I think when you grow up, particularly the older figures in your family, you just sort of take them at face value, and you don't really grill them on what they did before you knew them. You know, you live in the present. My grandmother always made it clear how proud she was of me. And now I'm proud of her. I feel very, very lucky that I've had this opportunity to learn about my family history and to reconnect with Grandma Margot, who was such a big part of my life. And, yeah, thank you.
That's enough, darling.
Say goodbye then.
It's boring.
Say goodbye then.
Okay.
Say it.